In the medieval period, up until the Industrial Revolution, the function of welfare payments in Europe were achieved through private givings or charity. Early welfare programs in Europe include the English Poor Law of 1601, which gave parishes the responsibility for providing welfare to the poor. The system was approved upon by the 19th century Poor Law Amendment Act, introducing a system of workhouses. When the United States were just colonies, they used the British Poor Laws. These laws were utilized to point out differences between those who could not work because of old age or bad health and those who were able to but were not employed. The sick and the old were given help through monetary aid or some type of assistance from the government. The unemployed were given public service occupations and workhouses. Over the course of the 1800s, there were many attempts to change how the government dealt with poverty. Some tried to encourage the poor to work rather than rely on government for aid. And before the Great Depression, the United States Congress supported various programs that were designed to help the poor. Among the myriad of programs, there was the Civil War Pension Program that was passed in 1862. The purpose of this program was to give aid to Civil War veterans and their families.
Most states offer basic assistance like health care, food stamps, child care assistance, unemployment, cash aid, and housing assistance. After reforms, which President Clinton said would end welfare as we know it, amounts from the federal government were given out in a flat rate per state based on population. Each state must meet certain conditions to make sure recipients of welfare are being encouraged to work themselves out of welfare. The new program is called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, otherwise known as TANF. The program promotes states to require some sort of employment search since the state is providing funds to individuals and impose a 5-year lifetime limit on cash assistance.
After the Great Society legislation of the 1960s, for the first time a person who was not elderly or disabled could receive aid from the American government. Aid included general welfare payments such as health care through Medicaid, food stamps, special payments for pregnant women and young mothers, and federal state housing benefits. In 1968, 4.1% of families were headed by women on welfare. By 1980, the percentage increased to 10%.
Before the Welfare Reform Act of 1996, welfare was once considered an open-ended right. But welfare reform changed it into a finite program built to provide short-term cash assistance and steer people quickly into jobs. Before the reform, states were given limitless money by the federal government, which increased per family on welfare, under the 60-year-old Aid to Families with Dependent Children program. This gave states no reason to direct welfare funds to the neediest recipients to encourage individuals to get off welfare because the states lost money when people left welfare.